Hi friends, we're finally back. It is a new episode of Tama Tea Time. Cheers! We're actually drinking coffee this morning. It is Sunday morning. Today is the official first day of the TikTok ban here in the US. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm wondering what I'm going to do with all of my free time. Oh, and remembering that I still need to film an episode of Tama Tea Time. It has been a minute since I've talked to you guys about the latest and greatest in the world of Tamagotchi and virtual pets. And I am so sorry that I am so late. This episode was supposed to be filmed back in December, but friends, life is tough. Life is so tough. And then there was like this little cherry on top where I got COVID right before Christmas. I got better in time to celebrate with my family, but man, I was so tired. So life is so hard, and I am sorry this is late, but as I always say, better late than never. I am so excited that it is 2025, and there are so many of you in the community now. I hit 7,000 subscribers as of like the end of December, and then another 100 have joined in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're new here, welcome. This is what I call Tama Tea Time. It is a sit-down podcast style video where I talk about all of the latest happenings in the world of virtual pets and mostly Tamagotchi, my favorite. As you can see, I'm wearing my Coochie Patchy sweatshirt. Can you see that? Oop, there he is. I haven't worn this in a while, and I thought it'd be the perfect time to sit down and chat with all of you. For today's episode, we are actually going to be discussing my favorite topic every year. I love going over all of the predictions I have for the coming year in the world of virtual pets, but mostly Tamagotchi. I have been an avid Tamagotchi collector now since 2018, but I was around in the 90s and I had a Tamagotchi in 1997. So I've been a big fan for a long time and following kind of the trends and the way things have been going for the brand. So I usually have predictions every year. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the latest announcements that actually happened, I think, just this past week, my predictions for the next coming year, and I do want to take a moment to talk about the announcement of Switch 2 because I think many of you in the community are a big fan of the Switch, and then we'll wrap up with some of my final thoughts. The latest announcements this week, if you haven't seen, there was an announcement around a new set of Tamagotchi original shells, which is pretty exciting. I think now that the Angel is officially launched, the Angel is now part of the quarterly refresh of Tamagotchi shells. I know we were all getting tired of the Gen 1 and Gen 2 re-release shells that came out constantly all throughout the year. Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love collecting shells, and I'm running out of room actually, so I kind of hate that they keep coming out with such cute ones. But we do have a second set of Tamagotchi Angel shells, and I am so excited because they are so cute. This blue one, I'm gonna have somewhere on the screen here. The blue one is the one I pre-ordered, and then there is this pastel cloud looking one. That's also very cute, but I am limiting myself to only one, because I'm running out of room. I owe you all a Tamagotchi virtual pet collection video. I think I haven't done one in like 4 years. But my office is awful. My office is a mess. It's so full of things, but I can dive in and show you some of that at some point, but I'm limiting myself to one shell. So I pre-ordered the blue. We're also getting this really cute, they're calling it Tamagotchi Smile. It's Marucci, just a little cute design shell. And then this other one is like a jewel themed, which I'm not super into, but I know people like this, so that's cool. So we're getting those 4 shells. And on top of that, we are also getting a 5th shell. a in-store exclusive shell that they are calling the spring stained glass themed shell. Okay, I have not discussed very much of this on my channel, but in the winter when they announced the Tamagotchi Angel as Gen 3, they also announced the release of, I have it over here, this. It is the winter stained glass themed Tamagotchi Gen 2, right? Yeah, we're a Gen 2. And this was an in-store exclusive. Okay, so you could only get it in the store. You couldn't buy it online. You couldn't buy it on Amazon. You couldn't pre-order it. That was just store exclusive. Which at first I was really excited about, because that's what, for me, well, that's what collecting is all about. Getting things that are rare and hard to find. Like, I was excited. I like the hunt. So you can best bet I went to as many Targets as I could and searched and finally did find one of these for my very own. But I was tracking within the community how upset people were over their inability to find this Tamagotchi within their own community. It depends on where they live, or like how populated it is and how quickly things would sell. But the way this stained glass shell worked is that when they ship Tamagotchis to a store to be sold, they come in a box of, like, I don't know, there was maybe like 6 to 8 Tamagotchis in a box. And that case would go out on the shelf as a display that you could rifle through and pick your Tamagotchi. There would be one of these stained glass shells in that box. So you had like a one-time chance to get it. If your store sold many Tamagotchis, there was more chances for you to show up and have one be in the store. But what ended up happening is that scalpers got wind of this Tamagotchi being rare and hard to get and bought them up and were selling them on eBay for like $300 or more, which I absolutely hate. I hate this part of our community where things are no longer manufactured, like the Tamagotchi On, or things are hard to get, like the stained glass shell, and people buy them up and then sell them online for what they hope will be a significant profit. And I think that just really like puts a damper on our community, because there are people who do this. And then the shells are not available for those of us who are really into it and are actual collectors. This happens with basically anything that is rare, supply and demand, if you've learned about that in school. Like when the PlayStation 5 were released and they were hard to get, and so people put them on eBay for over $1,000, and people would spend the money because they'd want it so bad. Have people within our community been spending $300 for the stained glass shell? Not that I know of, but if you have, or if you know anyone who has, you should comment below and let me know. I'm curious as to how these things are actually selling on eBay, but last I saw, like, no one was actually spending that amount of money. I wouldn't. It's a beautiful shell, but I don't know that it's going to be worth $300 in the future. It's a Gen 2. It's fun, it's pretty, but I don't think there's much worth past that. So if you are collecting these and trying to save them and hoping that they'll be worth something someday, maybe. But I really, as a collector, like, I collect these for my enjoyment. I like looking at it. It's beautiful. It is very pretty. I like the winter version. I am actually not a fan of the spring version that was announced. I'll put a picture of that here too. It's got, like, it's cute, but I'm not so into the color scheme. And I'm wondering if that's like their plan throughout the year. We had a winter, a spring, if we'll have a summer and a fall. I mean, I guess that could go along with my predictions that now that we've seen 2 of them, I expect to see more of those this year. So actually now, jumping into my predictions for this year, I I had a tough time coming up with what I thought would happen this year. So Tamagotchi Uni is going on 2 years old. It will be 2 in July of 2025. And so typically every 2 years, they refresh with a new color screen Tamagotchi, a new version. So, like we saw, at least since I've been collecting, we saw the meets, the on, the picks, and then the uni. And so it's looking like potentially we will have an opportunity to see a new color screen Tamagotchi this year. Why I'm hesitant though is because, so I don't know if you have been around for a while, you might not. It's been probably 2 years, this video. But right before the uni was announced, there was an FCC filing that I dug through with my boyfriend, who is an electrical engineer, to help understand some of the information within it. And what was there was an application for 10 different versions of the uni. Now, just because they've applied for 10 versions doesn't mean that they are going to sell 10 versions. But it's interesting to me that they would apply for so many versions and then only sell 6. So we're at 6 right now. We have the 3 original from the first year, the pink, the purple, and the blue. And then 3 more from this year, the monster, the angel, and the Sanrio. Yes, we're up to 6 that have been released, with the opportunity for 4 more potentially, because that was what was in the FCC filing. I don't know if there's any meaning to it. I don't know why I'm so hung up on it. There is this part of me that wonders if we will see the uni for 1 more year, because the games and the Wi-Fi and everything, that took a lot, right? That had to have taken a lot for Bandai to set up. And now that it's there, I don't know how much harder it would be for them to maintain. So I'm curious if we will see a new device this year, or if we will see like a new, maybe an updated version of the uni. I'm really curious as to what you all think. I might be the only one that's hung up on this FCC filing because, like I said, companies can file with the FCC here in the United States and not actually sell the product that they've filed. They have sold the uni for the last almost 2 years, but there is a potential that there's 4 other versions out there that they could sell this year. So that is a potential. I know that's not what people want to hear. I think we're probably done with the uni. Personally, I go in waves. Like, I'll turn it off for a couple weeks, and then when the new event starts, I'll turn it back on and play for like a couple weeks, and then the cycle will continue throughout the year. I am currently playing the latest game. It is the bobsled game, which I am so good at and I love. But we did just see the latest DLC announced and released. I don't think I talked about that on a Tama Tea Time, but we did get 2 additional DLC for the uni right before Christmas. It was like early December. We got the Fairy Tale Library, and then the other DLC is for, I actually don't know. It's like a YouTube collaboration, so the characters go along with like this Japanese YouTuber. I'm not very familiar with at all. The characters all like looked like peanuts. I'm sure it was like very popular in Japan, but I did not buy it and I'm not super into it. But we did just see the latest round of DLC. I feel like it comes out every couple of months. They'll release a new DLC. So I think time will tell if the uni will continue through this year or if we will get a new, I think what we're calling like flagship Tamagotchi in the summer. So recap, I think it's easy. We're going to see more of the stained glass shells. We should see a summer and a fall. We will maybe see a new flagship Tamagotchi in the summer, though if the uni sticks around for another year, you heard it here first. I don't know. Maybe. I'm wavering. It's been very traditional for every 2 years since, like, I don't know, 2012 for Bandai to release a new Tamagotchi. And they've never gone more than 2 years. So this is probably the year. Do I know what that Tamagotchi will be? I have no idea. I know a lot of you are hoping that we bring back gene mixing. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. We'll see. I'm very excited, though, to see what they come up with. Very excited. And at this moment, I have not a clue what it could be. I think we'll probably see more. They'll expand on the Wi-Fi capabilities. I think that has been awesome for the Uni. And besides the stained glass shell and the Uni, I don't know if this is a prediction. I think this is just like something that I personally want. I'm really hoping, I really want to see Bandai release a Gen 4, the Devil Gotchi, or the Tamagotchi Devil, Tamagotchi Monster. I have talked about that Tamagotchi a lot on this channel, so I'm not going to go too much into it here today, other than I know a lot of you also want it as well. So we're hoping that Gen 4 will be the Tamagotchi Devil, and it'll release probably later this year. It looks like we already have things scheduled out through March, so my thoughts is it might be like last year where it gets announced over the summer or in the fall and we'll see it by Christmas. That is my hope. There is also the option that Gen 4 could be the Tamagotchi Ocean, which was released in the United States in English but was super, super rare. And I think there are other versions of Tamagotchi that they could bring over. There was one called Tamagotchi Garden, and I think there was a few others, a lot less likely some of the other more obscure ones that were only released in Japan. So if we see it this year, I'm hoping Gen 4 is the Tamagotchi Devil or Tamagotchi Monster, but I will take a re-release version of Tamagotchi Ocean. I never got a chance to play. It's like $800 to $1,000 now. It's super rare. Like, if you have the English version from 1997, it's so rare. So it's very expensive. I'm not going to pay those prices, but if they do re-release it, I'll be there to make videos about it and be super excited about it with all of you. But my number one hope is Devil. I do think we will see a Gen 4 this year. Whichever it is, Gen 4 will come probably towards the end of the year. Maybe Bandai will surprise me. And then my other prediction, last one here, really, Tamagotchi Connection. I think they're going to keep making the shells. They've definitely announced that they will make shells and re-release them every couple of months. But I'm wondering, hoping, kind of thinking that maybe they will also bring out version 4. I personally am a big fan of 4. I played that a lot throughout the pandemic when I bought a version 4 on eBay. The gameplay is more complicated. It's a little more complex. It's a little harder for me to get the different characters, but I think it wouldn't be too much harder for them to make. I don't know if that's on their plans, though, for the Tamagotchi Connection re-release, or if they will just continue with new shells, but I'm kind of hoping, thinking maybe we'll see a version 4. If not this year, then next. Predictions. I don't know if any of them will come true, but I am looking forward to hearing what your predictions are, or your hopes for this year. I think we got a lot of things last year. And so to keep pace, Bandai is going to have to release a lot of things this year. Probably more collaborations with brands and all sorts of, I don't know, merchandise. I'm looking forward to all of it. Speaking of Tamagotchi Connection, I did not talk about on this channel at all recently. There was another wave of Tamagotchi Connection shells released. I think that just happened last week as well. A lot of things happened this week. It was a good time to make this episode. I showed the leaks of them in my last Tama Tea Time video, and most of them, I think they were all pretty accurate as to what came out. I personally was not into any of those shells, so I did not get any of them. But what I have been into lately is all of the shells that have been released in Japan. I splurged right before Christmas and bought myself a couple of different Tamagotchi Connections from Japan. They're from their Wave 2 and from their original release. And I also got myself an English melon soda, which I think a lot of you got and were really excited about. And I'm currently waiting for it should be delivered next week, the pink glitter version that was originally released in Japan and is now being released in English here in the US. To be clear, though, when I say they're released in English, they're all released in English and Japanese, but the packaging is coming in English for a lot of these shells that started in Japan, like melon soda, and now we were getting I think it's called the pink sparkles or pink glitter. I don't know. I'm a big fan of clear plastic with glitter, so I'm obsessed. All right, so friends, I have been getting a lot of feedback about these Tama Tea Time episodes, and so I really appreciate all the things that you've said. The last time I posted, someone said I did not make a long enough episode for folding laundry. I'll work on that this time. And there's many of you who want me to keep making these, and I know it's been like 3 months, so I apologize for the lateness of this latest episode. But Tama Tea Time is something that I absolutely love doing and will continue throughout the year. So just so you know, I will be continuing to make these videos for all of you, just so we can sit down and chat about the latest in the world of Tamagotchi. But I do need to mention that I wanted to do these more routinely, but it's kind of sporadic based on when the latest announcements and leaks show up. And I can't plan for those things. And so I'm hoping to maybe expand this Tama Tea Time a little bit so that I can talk about different topics, things that are still virtual pet adjacent, so that I can routinely make episodes for you guys. Talking about virtual pets, of course, but also things like Switch 2. Okay, Switch 2 was announced officially this week. There have been a lot of leaks. There have been a lot of rumors and information swirling, and finally Nintendo addressed it and announced the Switch 2. I don't know if a lot of you are fans of the original Switch. I love all of the cozy games on there. Like Tamagotchi and virtual pets kind of go hand in hand to me with cozy games. Like I like farming games and Animal Crossing, like simulation games. And so I am so excited for Switch 2. Obsessed. I talk a lot about handhelds on this channel. I am obsessed with anything I can take with me on the go. Virtual pets, handheld video games, and Switch 2 fits all of that with, hopefully a new Animal Crossing game. But I am so excited about the way it looks. The new Switch 2 looks so modern, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. If you're a true gamer, Nintendo is always kind of like behind on capability and hardware, but I just love everything that they're doing with their handhelds, and I don't care that much about graphics because handhelds just generally don't have like the most amazing graphics. I do love that these cozy games play so well on the Switch that I cannot wait for Switch 2. So I think that this year, 2025, is going to be amazing for many reasons. I think that the world of Tamagotchi is going to be awesome. The possibility for a new flagship Tamagotchi color device this summer is just got me so excited just for this year alone. And then on top of that, all the other things that we could potentially see in the world of Tamagotchi. We can't forget about Gigapets, who have been quiet too, and other virtual pets. There is this cute little, it's called the Tamagotchi, but it's like a Chinese virtual pet that they have released in the English language. So there are many things to be excited about for 2025, and I cannot wait to experience all of them with you. Cannot. So I've been talking now for a while. It's time for me to wrap up. I'm sorry if you were hoping for a longer episode, but it's my first one back, and I haven't talked to the camera in like a long time. So let me know everything you thought about this episode in the comments below. What are your predictions? Do you care about Switch 2 or cozy video games? And I will see you again very soon. I owe you many videos. My favorites from 2024, my collection currently, like there's many things coming. So stay tuned and I will see you in the next one. Bye.